Welcome to Demo Day for our 22nd cohort at Code Chrysalis CC22. I'm Michael, and I'm an engineer in residence here at Code Chrysalis, and we are very excited to show you our students' project tonight. And of course, we do encourage you to tag us on social media. And before we begin, we'd like to say a huge thank you to all the supporters in our community. And thank you to Vonage for providing as real of a real-world experience one could possibly provide to our students. Thank you in particular to Clarice Eng, Amanda Cavallaro, and Dwayne Hemmings for making this happen. Vonage has lent us engineering support and opened up their API to our students so that students can have hands-on experience building a full-stack product with a live API. So thank you. Your support creates more opportunities and possibilities. I'd also like to thank Blake O'Hare for lending us his expertise in algorithms and whiteboarding to help prepare our students for interviews they'll soon be going to. Tonight, CC22 is excited to show you their presentation, and we'll turn it over to our students in just a moment. First, a little more context on tonight's event. These students have just completed 12 weeks of a very challenging program, are full-time immersive. Students have covered everything from the basics of data structures and computational complexity to more complicated topics, such as configuring ORMs, defining and weighing requirements of a new project, setting up a modern, robust, and scalable infrastructure. Students really throw themselves into the deep end of software engineering, and they've been at it every day for 12 weeks. So this project that you'll be seeing today is a culmination of everything they've learned in terms of engineering, teamwork, communication, and problem solving, and we are so very excited to showcase these to you. Without further ado, please meet the team members of Team Subarashi, who have created Senpai. Senpai is an e-learning web application that connects users with experienced front-end developers to practice visual art programming skills. Team Subarashi, take it away.
Thank you, Michael. And hello, everyone. We are Team Subarashi, and we'd like to take a moment to introduce ourselves. My name is Stephen Batman, and I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. And I've been about Tokyo for roughly 2 years now. I originally come from a finance and banking background. However, I decided I wanted to build things that can help solve problems. So I started studying programming and eventually found myself here at Code Chrysalis. And for this project, I was the tech lead, and I also worked on the front end and the back end. Next, I'll pass it off to Greg for his introduction.
Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Edmondson, and I'm originally from Las Vegas in the United States. I've been living in Japan for about 6 years now, and I've been working as a video game translator for the past 2 or 3 years. Despite being surrounded by engineers and programmers every day, I'd never actually touched a line of code until joining Code Chrysalis about 4 or 5 months ago. With that opportunity that I've had at Code Chrysalis, I've been able to learn how to build full stack apps both by myself and with a team. And on this application, Senpai, I contributed as a full stack engineer. Next, Reiji.
Hi, so I'm Reiji Sasaka. I hail from the Philippines, where I was previously a licensed psychometrician. After moving to Japan about a year ago, I studied the language for about 9 months before enrolling at Code Chrysalis to prepare myself for pursuing a career in software development. For this app, I was a full stack developer. So that was me, except this Takuya.
Right. Thank you, Reiji. Good evening, everyone. My name is Takuya Yoshida, and I was born and raised in Japan. I am interested in fitness and sports. And in order to combine these interests with my love for technology, I decided to study programming at Code Chrysalis. For this project, I worked as a full stack engineer. And yeah, that is all for me. I'll pass it to Yukimi.
Thank you, Takuya. My name is Yukimi Otagiri. Just before I joined Code Chrysalis, I was an administrator for a team of IT professionals at a Japanese first fashion company. Thanks to the experience, I began studying JavaScript last fall. My goal is working outside of Japan. I wanted to get enough skills to achieve this goal, so I chose joining this Code Chrysalis. For this app, I contributed full stack, so I let Stephen introduce the app.
Thank you, Kimi. So the burning question, why Senpai? So when we were thinking about what we wanted to build for our senior project, we took a look at some of the experiences we've all gone through, thought about what could have made our lives easier. Now, given that we all underwent an intensive learning process, we noticed that we all could have benefited from additional practice and mentorship. And upon further research, we noticed that we are not the only ones taking on new challenges during this awkward time. For example, popular learning website Udemy reported that they saw about a 42% increase in enrollments for consumers, a 55% increase in course creations by instructors, and about an 80% increase in usage from business and governments. Similarly, in a late 2020 article, Forbes reported that many of the popular language learning apps, such as Duolingo, have seen a near double increase in active users. That led us to decide what we wanted to help our users learn. Another thing we noticed was that on platforms such as Udemy, YouTube, and Skillshare, there has been a rise in interest in creating graphics with visual art libraries such as 3JS, D3, and also data visualization libraries such as Chart.js and ToastUI. Now, to summarize our app goals, we wanted to make this learning process simple, efficient, and affordable from both sides of the relationship. Now, as it stands now, there are hundreds of different ways for users to connect over video and many different text editing platforms that people use, some that offer a free collaboration feature while others are paid. We wanted to streamline the entire process by not only creating a way for these users to connect and schedule lessons, but also provide an environment for our users to have these collaborative coding sessions and video chat all within the same app. And simply put, Senpai is an e-learning platform that connects experienced front-end developers with those who want to learn from them. This allows those experienced developers, which we call Senpai, to take advantage of the growing online gig economy and leverage their skills to meet new like-minded people, make some extra cash on the side as well. In turn, those looking to learn, which we call Kohai, can find affordable lessons that work with their busy schedule. This also allows them to sample different teaching styles and libraries without signing up for multiple full-length classes. Now, I'd like to pass it on to Yukimi to give us a little example of maybe some possible users that might use our app.
Thank you, Stephen. Our app matches two kinds of users, Senpai, which means mentor in Japanese, and Kohai, which means mentee in Japanese. To demonstrate this, we have two personas. Let me introduce the first persona, Senpai. Janice is 29 years old and lives in Tokyo. She currently works as a programmer, but wants to make a little extra cash on the side by helping others learn programming. Her problem is that she is surrounded by veteran programmers at work and doesn't know how to find people who have little or no experience and want to learn. Senpai offers a solution to this problem. By using Senpai, Janice can not only easily find students to mentor, she can also set her own rates, accept payments, and teach them face-to-face or one single platform. Our second persona is a Kohai, which means mentee in Japanese. Jimmy is 35 years old and lives in Paris. He currently works at a grocery store and is new to programming. He has a background in visual arts. He wants to learn how to program so he can work freelance job on the side. His problem is that he doesn't know anybody who knows how to code or even any who is looking to teach someone else how to code. And he doesn't have enough money to go back to college. By using Senpai, Jimmy can easily find a mentor for a reasonable price and work side by side with them through a collaborative coding IDE and video chat to practice his visual art programming skills. Next, Greg will give us a short tour of the app.
Thank you very much, Yukimi. All right, so our application is kind of used, there are two kinds of users in our applications. You know, we have Senpai and we have Kohai, much like Yukimi had mentioned. So we're going to start off with our Senpai, Janice. So Janice has just signed up for the website and here she is on the splash page, and let's access her profile. So you can see that she already actually has some of her details set up. She has a short bio saying, hi, my name is Janice, and I'm so excited to teach you. She has some of her interests listed and some of her GitHub repositories, as well as links to some of her different social accounts. So let's go into edit her profile so that Janice can kind of set up some of the skills that she is looking to teach and set her rates. So we can scroll down to the bottom of the edit section where we can set all of these different settings for her profile and see, are you a Senpai? So yeah, let's enter this page. And we can see that she is currently registered already as a Senpai. And there are 3 different slots for her to register skills that she is looking to teach. So this first one, let's set this as CSS. And yeah, these other are fine. So let's say that she wants to teach for 1,000 yen an hour. So let's update. You can see these settings are updating. The page is currently refreshing. And there we go. It's updated. And there's even a place on the same page where we can link a YouTube video where they will presumably give a short little self-introduction, who they are and what they're trying to teach. So next, let's set some open time slots for some bookings. So we see that Janice has some time open on the 22nd. So let's go on here, and with very easily, we're able to select the date and time. So let's say, sure, 7 p.m. on October 22nd. And let's create a lesson slot. And so we see right here, it shows up and there's an unbooked lesson from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. So now let's swap over to Jimmy and let's book that lesson with Janice. So if we look here, Jimmy has the exact same kind of settings. He can come in here and he can set up his biography or his bio, and he can do all of these different settings. So that's fantastic. He doesn't have anything set up at the moment. He just made an account, but that's fine. He can still come into the Find a Senpai page and he can find a Senpai. So Jimmy is looking to learn CSS. So let's use our filters to filter down to CSS. And we see this Greg Edmondson fellow. He doesn't have any reviews yet. All right. I mean, maybe compared to Janice, he's not as amazing. So let's maybe go with Janice's profile. We can click on her profile and, oh, here's her self-introduction. She has a little about me. All right, sure. Let's see how her schedule looks. And you see she has several. She's a busy person. So she has all of her bookings listed or booked already, except for this one. So let's try and make this booking. Let's, okay. So perfect. Okay, so we can say CSS, let's book now. And with the click of a button, it takes us right to Stripe checkout. This is perfect. So let's set Jimmy's email address is jim@gmail.com. That's fine. All right. Quick checkout, name on the card for 1,000 yen an hour, lesson with Janice J. Fantastic. All right. And so, yeah, simple. We got our lesson booked. So let's check out my lessons. And you can see that this lesson has appeared for the 22nd. Perfect. All right. So now for this next part of the demo, we will be entering into a code room where Jimmy and Janice can work together. But because that requires the use of a video camera, I'm going to be swapping over to a quick pre-recorded demo of that section of this demo. So let's watch this together. All right, and so here we are on Janice's page, and she'll be entering into a lesson, and she has joined the room, and it loaded in, and there you can see there's video chat down in the corner. There's me and Steven, and there's a script.js file. There is a style.css file preloaded, and there's an index.html file. So there are 3 files already preloaded and configured. Let's try changing the background of our render. Perfect. Okay, so we've changed the background to navy. We've changed the text color to white, but we don't have any text yet. So let's have Steven put in maybe a header, something to render. And hey, there we go. We have Hello YouTube showing up in our render, in our code render. But it's still a little boring. Okay, so we have an image displaying even, but it's a little small. See, its height is set to 10 pixels, so perfect. Okay, we updated it. It's now 100 pixels. Oh, now it's 300 pixels. That's even better. That looks great. But we have one final little trick up our sleeve for our code editor. So Steven, or Jimmy in this case, is going to import a third-party library into our script.js file. As you can see, he has imported confetti. And I'm just going to type in really quick and call on confetti. And so if you see on the right side of the screen, our code render just rendered that third-party library confetti. All right, perfect. So now I will pass it back over to Reiji to explain some of the technology that we used.
So thanks, Greg. So I'll describe the tech stack a little bit. On the front end, in order to make a dynamic and responsive web application, we opted to use React since it suits that need and makes our front end structured in a way that allows it to be easy to work on as a team. In tandem with React, since our application has quite a few features that use the same data across the app, we opted to use a state management library called Recoil to simplify the internal logic. And just to speed up development times, we also used a React component library called Material UI. On the backend side of things, our server is built using Express and Node.js. This was largely for simplicity's sake, as we did not have any significant demands performance-wise, and this combination allows us to use both our front and back end JavaScript. Also on the backend side, for storing and retrieving data pertaining to users and lessons and the like, since performance isn't an issue, we used a MongoDB database with Mongoose for object data modeling, as this setup allows us to flexibly structure our data to suit our needs. Now, regarding a bit of the infrastructure, we have containerized the project on Docker as a monolithic app and have deployed it to Google Cloud Platform. And lastly, across our app, we make use of various services for our features. And our workspace uses a library called Monaco Editor for the code editor, which is used in tandem with Firebase's real-time database to facilitate the real-time updates to the code between users. And while this is happening, we also have the workspace's video chat functionality, which is provided by the Vonage Video API. Thanks again to Vonage. Aside from those, user authentication is largely handled by Firebase's authentication, and our payment system is facilitated by Stripe, and our automated email notifications are handled using NodeMailer. And that just about sums up our tech stack. I'll now pass it back over to Greg.
All right, thank you very much, Reiji. So now I would like to cover some of the, I guess, engineering challenges that we faced while creating this app. So firstly is the containerization and creation of images for a large project with Docker. So like many people out there, I think I was programming on a relatively basic kind of a maybe low spec laptop. And yeah, using virtual machines can take up quite a bit of memory. So in order to properly build and create this image, I had to go into the React scripts and manually increase the memory allotment for the build script, which chewed through quite a bit of time figuring out how to do that. But in the end, I worked through it and I feel like it was a better product for that. And nextly, figuring out the Monaco editor and adding real-time collaboration. So essentially Google Docs, as you had seen with that, with our workspace that we had. So Monaco editor, if you're not aware, is essentially VS Code. So essentially we had to figure out how to work through data conflicts or input conflicts when there are multiple users using this editor at the same time. So we had tested two separate conflict resolution algorithms. The first one called CRDT, or conflict-free replicated data type, and operational transform, or OT. So our final implementation, we opted for operational transform. And lastly, we also we weren't sure if we wanted to use WebSockets or real-time database to show the updating changes on both users' machines, and our final implementation used real-time databases. All right, now I will pass it over to Takuya to discuss the future implementations for our app.
All right, Greg. Thank you, Greg. I'm going to talk about future implementations. So first, direct messaging. We would like the user to be able to contact each other within the app to handle any pre or post lesson communication needs, further eliminating the need for additional third-party apps. Secondly, we would like to build a custom IDE with associated file system. This has obvious benefit from a developing standpoint. It would also allow for integration with version control systems such as Git and GitHub. We would also like to add a gallery feature where users can post and display previous or current work done on the app. And lastly, adding support for group classes would increase the efficiency for Senpais and lower costs for Kohais. That is all for the future implementations. I'll pass back to Stephen.
Thanks, Takuya. I would like to thank the viewers for taking an interest in Senpai, and also thank Chrysalis and their staff for all the support and guidance they've given these past 3 months. And at this point, I'd like to ask the team to join me back on the E stage one last time. Now, this hasn't been an easy road for us. And looking back now, I'm sure I can speak for the team when I say we've all had a great learning experience. We will walk away from this with the tools necessary to create products that enable us to change the world. And that's it from us at Team Subarashi. And now I'll pass it back to Michael for some closing words.
Thank you very much, Team Subarashi. I know I could have used an app like this when I was just starting out. I don't know, maybe I still could. Anyway, the mentee-mentor relationship, I believe, is crucial to every software engineer's growth, and I'm very happy to see any app that encourages it. I'm very sorry about that. To CC22, thank you for your incredible effort. Your journey is not over, though. Tomorrow is graduation, and from Monday, you're going to begin the job hunt, but you will not be alone. The staff and a wonderful career support team will be here to continue supporting you in this amazing transition you'll be making. And a shout out to our community, not just to the people I named earlier, but to all of you watching as well. Thank you for your energy and your support. Our goal with this course is to get new students, to a point where they are autonomous and confident enough to take on challenges that even to me are unfamiliar and new. And a lot of the tech that you saw students using for these final projects were things they picked up on their own, such as Docker, Monaco Editor, and a variety of other libraries and platforms Team Subarashi used in their projects. And I hope what also came through is that our course not only teaches tech, but also communication, empathy, and autonomy, all of which we strongly believe are necessary to become a full stack developer, and all of which I think the students you saw today are highly skilled in. To anyone watching this video who's intrigued and interested in maybe taking one of our courses and would like to find out more about what kind of tech our students end up learning by the end, I hope this event was informative for you. And speaking of Code Chrysalis's offerings, coming up soon, we have Hackathon Night with MyMizu. During the 7th week of our bootcamp, we've partnered with MyMizu and introduced our students to their API. Our students are challenged to build a new application from scratch in only 4 days. And of course, they have to implement MyMizu's API into their design. If you want to become a software engineer yourself, join our next immersive course that starts January 3rd. Please remember that the final application deadline is November 29th, so get your applications in soon. For those of you who want to pursue their careers in software engineering, but for various reasons can't join our full-time immersive course, no worries, we got you. You can become a software engineer while still working by taking time in our immersive part-time course starting January. Visit our website for more details. And feeling that you're not quite ready to apply to one of our immersive programs, trying to study coding, but it's not really working out studying by yourself, or maybe you're just curious about what coding is all about, we have the solution, our 5-week Intro to Programming Foundations course. And lastly, we know that you may have lots of questions regarding the software engineering career, such as how you can transition to tech and where to start, for example. For all of you, we will hold an AMA event on November 4th with our CTO and co-founder, Jan. To participate, please sign up on our meetup. And finally, I'm honored that I got to be part of these engineers' journeys. Thank you to CC22, and thank you to everyone that supported your journey. And thank you to everyone watching tonight. I'm excited to witness these wonderful engineers, what they do out there in the tech industry. Take care, and see you at the next event. Bye-bye.